Welcome back to Nationwide. Well, I've come to County Kilkenny to meet the founders of the Jack and Jill Foundation, which celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. In its lifetime, the Jack and Jill Foundation has helped over 2,700 children with complex medical needs by providing home nursing care. The foundation was started by Jonathan Irwin and Mary Ann O'Brien, whose son Jack was the inspiration behind this charity. The Jack and Jill Foundation, 25 years on. How did it all start, Jonathan?
How it started is the horror of losing a baby. And this was a second baby, because before that Mary Ann had twins, one of whom was stillborn. Same hospital, what was it, about 2 years later. Heartbreak, catastrophe. My God, you know, this can't be happening. To deal with another baby coffin and great sadness, and then staring around to see how could this have happened. Because I think what shocked us most was there was no government aid to little babies and parents like us.
Jack was born in 1996 and he died when he was 18 months old. So we just found we were at home trying to cope with a baby that was tube fed 22 hours a day, epileptic fits every hour, constantly having breathing issues. Tube would come out, how do you get it back in again? Because if it goes into his lungs, you're going to kill him. So after 6 months, our family unit was completely breaking down. So, you know, eventually as we got some help through our own little private fundraising, we thought we started to interact with other people that had profoundly brain damaged babies, and we thought we've got to do something.
And in the initial stages of providing care or setting about the foundation, what did you identify as the greatest need?
Well, it's actually, Jonathan, it was very simple what we came up with, because let's pretend, Anne, it's yourself, you know, and your family have such a situation at home. We will have a nurse in, let's pretend you live in the southeast. We'll have a nurse in the southeast, and she'll first go and see you and establish what your needs are. And then it's very simple that we pay you, you pay the nurse, and it's really a very simple. But it's the nurses that we have attracted that work for us all over Ireland that help make that possible as well. Would that be?
Absolutely. I mean, the wonderful thing that I loved and still love about Jack and Jill is nobody ever leaves. It's like you're almost got a vocation, and there's enormous amount of sadness within the waves of Jack and Jill. There's a lot of laughter as well.
Is there a way where families can support one another, families who may be in similar situations through the foundation?
Well, we very luckily have a family day every year, usually in the Royal Hospital, Kilmainham, where the Gardaí bring their horses and the firemen come and the clowns come and the music comes and the DJ comes, but all the families all over Ireland come together on that day. And it's hugely important for them to connect with each other, because you know yourself, you think, oh my God, I feel so alone, you know, I feel so isolated, but then you actually see people that are probably worse off than you or the same as you are, and that's a very powerful day.
Mm. And Jonathan, you said that you felt very strongly initially at the outset that no baby should be not cared for. And have you been able to look back over the 25 years and say we've never turned anybody down?
We've never turned anybody down.
No, 2,700 so far.
You know, and growing. So we're always prepared for more and more and more, and we have never turned the baby away.
And 25 years on, how do you view your considerable achievements, the support and succour and practical help that you've given to young children and of course to families?
We view the fact that we are so lucky to have started it, because the amount of joy and support and friendship and just incredible human beauty that we've encountered on the journey, I think we're just the luckiest people in the world that we ever started it.
It's extraordinary. We were, by chance, the capitalists that felt strong enough to take on anybody, whether it was a minister or a TD or an HSE senior officer.
Without the little bit of help I got, or the big bit of help I got from the few girls, You know, it was the toughest time of my entire life, and nobody can imagine what it's like. Nobody can imagine the heartache and the difficulty of never having any sleep. It's like having a dagger basically stuck in there and twisted every couple of hours, you know, so I don't forget. But I am very proud to be sitting here 25 years later, and I'm very proud of Jack for having been the inspiration to bring us all down this amazing road.
The nursing staff within the foundation are the backbone of this charity. Sinead Moran is one of those who's been with the Jack and Jill Foundation for over 20 years. You're a very cohesive group of nurses. What has made you stay so long?
I suppose the love of the job. I love what I do on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I've worked for over 20 years with the charity, and I'm very privileged going into these families' homes to offer the service that we do, which is to give those families a break, whether it's a day or a night, and to support them in their darkest or hardest days. So I'm very privileged, and I have an amazing team I work with that also keeps me there too. There's 14 other liaison nurses, and they are fabulous, and we support each other, and that's what keeps us on this journey for so long.
And how many children would you be caring for, generally speaking, on a given day?
On a given day I'd probably do maybe 3 visits, so 3 families I'd see in the one day, depending. Sometimes it could be 2, but it depends on the needs of that family that day. So I do a visit in the morning to go meet the families, and it could be a new referral to set up, providing our service, explain what we do. Sometimes then in the afternoon I take a child out maybe for a walk or give the parents a break. So it varies from family to family. Some days it could be that I go to one household. If that child is end of life, that family might need that support. Every day is different, and every family is different, so the needs of the family sort of determine how many I'd see in one day.
Mary O'Shea from County Kilkenny depends on the Jack and Jill nurses who provide care for her son Tig. You have Tig in your arms there. He's a bonny little boy. Mary, can you tell me a little bit about him? When was he born?
He was born New Year's Eve, December 2019. So he's 2 now. Yeah, he's great. He's a really happy, lovable little boy. You know, he's so placid. He's great. He has a big sister who looks after him well and cares for him great, so she does.
So his big sister is Grace?
Yeah.
And how old is she?
She's 12 now.
And what are Tig's needs on a daily basis?
Tig has plenty of needs. Like, he has quite a rare condition. Like, he's 1 of 6 in the world, the only little boy in Ireland with this condition, which affects, like, he has an absent corpus callosum, a cleft of his soft palate, an ASD, a VSD. He's got adrenal insufficiency. He has some hearing loss and a visual impairment as well.
So he requires quite a lot of care.
Yeah, yeah.
And what kind of care do you receive in terms of support from the Jack and Jill Foundation for Tig?
Oh, Jack and Jill are brilliant. Like, we would truly be lost without them. They're part of our family now at this stage. You know, they've been coming since we came home from hospital. But they're wonderful. Like, they come in and they help, and like they're there for everything, like for every occasion that we need, or you know, like that I would need help with, especially in the house when he's sick. They are able to come in and give me a break. And
if you need to call one of the nurses at short notice, how practical is that?
It's very practical. Like, we have Sheila, our liaison nurse, who's at the end of the phone, like whenever we need anything. Like, I would speak to Sheila regularly. She's great. Like, you know, if we needed extra Jack and Jill hours or anything, you know, they help us out in all aspects of our life. You know, there's not like one thing in our lives that they wouldn't be part of. Like, recently my brother got married, and Marie minded him for the day, but minded him at home, brought him down to the wedding for me so he could be in our family pictures, took him home and minded him for the night for me, you know. And it just makes me be able to have like a life with my family as well.
Yeah, you're very grateful, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But you know, you're a wonderful person.
Thank you.
And you're a great mother, and I can see the love that you have for Tig.
Yeah. God,
you've a lot to be proud of,
We'd be
Mary.
lost without him, so we would.
Yeah.
Like, he's really brought our family so close together, so he has, yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
Fundraising is vital to the running of this charity, as Carmel Doyle tells us. Hello, Carmel. How are you?
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
You're very welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Now, as the CEO of the Jack and Jill Foundation, can you tell me just what it takes to keep everything going?
It takes a wonderful team of people. There's a big operation behind Jack and Jill, and today we have 412 children under our wing, so that's the highest ever. And to look after all those needs, we need to raise over 5 million every year. So we have a fundraiser on every week, because in Jack and Jill there are only 2 jobs. You're either a nurse looking after a child, or you're raising money for a nurse to look after a child.
This year you're marking 25 years. The need, I guess, is just as great as ever in terms of the care of sick children and giving support to their families.
I'd say the need is more important than ever. Our families need us now more than ever. As I said, 412 children under our wing today. We look after children from birth to 6 years of age, and we will fund and deliver up to 80 hours of home nursing care, specialist home nursing care to each of those children when they need it. We couldn't do what we do without the support of the public, and that's why we're going 25 years. And I'm so proud of Jonathan and Marianne and what they set up, and that we have the legacy now to continue on. Jack and Jill is a fantastic charity, and it's all about home, community, family.